Okay. Well, it's good to be kicking off a new month of a topic. And we mentioned surviving winter, and we're all glad Bill is okay from his. And it was already titled Surviving Winter before we knew about Bill's accident with his car. But it's another illustration of just how we have to be prepared for things. That's obviously a very good piece of news that he's all right. But the reality is there's other events that come in these 7 months, it seems, of winter that we face as we go forward. So kicking it off this week, because we have an extra bonus week this month. So I thought I'd do an overview of what we're going to cover in the next weeks ahead. So there's these four different areas that I think are key challenges. The first one, building off of last month with Thanksgiving, is the holidays of Christmas and New Year's that are coming. Similar to Thanksgiving, they might have relational aspect challenges or other stressors that come. New Year's obviously has its own unique challenges as people talk about that, whether it's with substances or it's with just reflection of the past year or anticipation of the new year that's coming. So we'll talk about holiday events next week. The week after, we're going to talk about grief, because certainly holidays this time of year is when people recognize who's not around anymore, whether that's someone who's moved away and a relationship is distant or no longer exists, or if it's grief from death or loss in some type of way. We're going to talk about that one because people are aware of grief, and the more they are, the better they deal with it. But there's also unexpected impact of grief when people get surprised, like, why is this happening? And even with the final 2 weeks, I think the challenge that will come is keeping our routines as we go through the day. One of the big challenges that are cited in the counseling office is it's so hard to go to work in the dark and come home in the dark. And which means people are ready to go to bed maybe 2 or 3 hours sooner than what they're normally used to with the sunshine that's out. So we know that there are some seasonal effects of this time of year that just really put some obstacles and a damper on some of our healthy routines. So we'll spend a week talking about that as well. And then simply the duration of this winter. My oldest daughter was born in April. It was April 12th, and the only reason we stayed in Marshfield is because it snowed 6 inches. And that was mid-April. So we know that as we've been preparing for the snowy stuff outside since probably late October, and then it's always April, that period of time seems very, very long. So it's important to have motivation and endurance to go forward, since we wish summer would last that long, and maybe fall would last that long, but winter, boy, it is the one that lasts the longest, it seems. So we want to be on top of that. To help, a couple of things that I wanted to focus on as we begin these chats on Wednesdays is I want to give a list of positive things to be able to do to fill up that time beyond whatever the normal workday is or what's going on, to give a list of ideas of things for us to do for ourselves or with others just to enjoy. And also, I was really encouraging the exercises that are listed, those just mental health points to pay attention to in the emails are, I think, really crucial this month, including the first one I mentioned was I'm giving 4 challenges that stand out to me, but each person at the gym probably has their own list of challenges that come in December, January, February, March. And I want everybody to be aware of that and take time to be prepared for them. And also this key phrase of set aside some mental health days now. So one in December later this month, January, February, March, a day that is planned, it's set aside, you have a good schedule to be able to do something. It's not a sick day. Like people think, well, I have 103 fever and I'm off work and I'm laying on the couch. That's a day off. No, it's not. It's not a productive day. Your body's healing and resting, and that's good, but I'm talking not a vacation day where you already have time off for the holidays or something, or not a sick day because usually people aren't feeling well, but a mental health day that's just set aside as margin, as a way to be intentional with people or projects or activities, to set it up now so it doesn't get forgotten about in the busyness of winter. So with all that said, here's my first list of things to do in winter. This is from the wiscoexplorer.com website called the Ultimate Wisconsin Winter Bucket List. So here's a few things that they recommend. And of course, they'd start with Wisconsin Dells, right? However many water parks they have, like, go to the Dells. Because if you miss water, you miss warmth, they probably have some fake beaches in one of those behemoths down there. You have a chance to go and spend some time. Second, Bill testified, this is a good one to visit, the Willow River State Park. There's a huge waterfall that ends up being frozen this time of year. That's in Hudson, Wisconsin. So a good day trip to get there. The Ice Castle in Eagle River, another place to visit. I was remarking, I've only been in Wisconsin 25 years and I've hit a couple of these, but not all of them. So these might be things that I'll have to research a little bit more too. They recommend calling ahead to make sure you can visit the ice caves in Bayfield at the Apostle Islands, a chance to be able to go there. I have been to Cave Point Park in Sturgeon Bay in the fall, but in wintertime, it's going to be some really cool things to see right on the shore there. The Milwaukee Public Museum has their butterfly pavilion. So if you miss seeing the little creatures, you have a chance to go there and spend time in that facility. And finally, and it's painful for me to mention on this one, but you can go sledding or ice skating at Titletown at Lambeau Field. I didn't choose that one, although a couple years ago I was at the Bears-Packers game and was there for the first time, and even I can admit that's a lot of fun activity that's around, a lot of good food to eat. And yes, ice skating and sledding that exists there. And we'll just move on from that activity. But bringing it back to us and some questions here for us. What is the part of winter that you could do without? That if you could, we still have to have winter, but if there's one thing you could kind of edit out, not have to deal with, what would it be? Bitter cold wind like tomorrow morning. That's supposed to exist. It's a good one. Yeah. Anything else? Still sticking with driving, Bill. Yes. Slick roads. That'd be good. Yeah, good one, Kelly. Yeah. Just kind of always walking a little bit more gingerly or carefully. Yeah. Focus on some other stuff as they go. So those are all good, good examples. Related to that, though, even to this week in particular about those mental health days, what have you discovered to be the best way for you to navigate these many months of winter and take care of your own mental health? What's the one thing you can do to reset the day, to get some rest, rejuvenate, escape from winter? What have you done? What comes to mind? Shelley, it's been mentioned all morning, right? Hibernating. And obviously people have rooms dedicated to that, right? A nice fireplace, a good, rug or leather couch or something, and the dogs are there, candle, right? It's just really, really nice to be able to do that. Again, it's part of that risk. We'll talk about it in a minute of just what's the measure of that? How do you balance that out and not do it too much? Any others? What are the other choices or decisions that are made to preserve your own mental health through a long winter? Embrace winter, yeah? Yeah. Like the Character Mile Challenge, right? Yeah. That's why it's just a good match with that get out and walk a mile or visit some of these places, and we'll talk about those activities, is maybe establishing some control. If winter feels a lot of times like I can't do what I want, it can feel a little bit like I don't control this season like I can do the others. Well, these are some ideas where you have intention and purpose. It's a little bit easier to balance out some of that impact. Well, be thinking about it, because you're going to take aside that mental health day, then I certainly want people to know what they're going to do on that day. Some final comments here as we kick off this topic of surviving winter. I think if you find yourself a little bit underneath of where you want to be as you go through this month, a really good starting point to get back even or even above is to connect with people. Now, when we're lacking some passion, some energy, some endurance to be able to do something, be in proximity to other people. Take them up on a request or an offer they make of you. Give them a reason to come to your house, right? Hibernate together kind of thing for a while. Or someone needs some help in something, be able to participate. So people make up that difference to re-energize us. Second is just have this right perspective of the difficult seasonal effects that come in. The reality is the shorter, darker days make it hard to feel energized because this daylight savings time that comes in, the fact that we're waking up early, it's still dark, and we have to get going. The short days, the cold temps, the wind chills that happen, be prepared for those, because if you're dressed warmer, the cold doesn't feel as bad, you have more energy. If you're watching that sleep, then you're monitoring that better, you have a better chance to hold on to that energy. So don't be afraid to take on one of those seasonal effects directly and force your way through it. And then finally, just two key things when it comes to energy level and how precious it is through winter: regulating your sleep, keeping that sleep hygiene. Again, not sleeping too much. We all love a good nap, but if people are trying to shut down their day and they end it too soon and get too much sleep, it starts to throw everything off, starts to confound everything. And then that energy level piece. Whenever you have a sunny day, enjoy the sunny day outside or soak it up inside a really nice window, right, where it's nice and warm. You're able to sit there and do that. So whatever you can do to preserve this energy, sleep well, be around the sunshine, even use those full spectrum lighting, right, to be able to impact the body in some positive ways through UV lights that allow us to really think we're outside and be able to do it. Uh, Lots of primary care physicians might recommend vitamin D supplements through winter because it is so different from the amount of sun we have access to or whatever else. So preserving this or taking concrete steps to make sure we don't miss anything. So it's a good week to kick it off and do this overview, and then we'll progress through these different little agendas and these different aspects of each week, and we'll get through this month of surviving winter and set us up well as we go into January, February, March, trying to get to spring as soon as we can. So good to see you guys. Good to be here, and look forward to next week diving in a little bit deeper. Thank you.